Most people don't lose their potential because they aren't smart enough, disciplined enough, or talented enough. They lose it because their mind has been hijacked, fragmented into 1,000 micro distractions, notifications, impulses, and endless noise. Every day, you wake up with the intention to focus, but within minutes, your attention is pulled like a puppet on invisible strings. And little by little, your ability to concentrate, the very power that shapes success, mastery, creativity, and inner peace, dies without you even noticing. But centuries ago, Japanese monks and warriors discovered a technique so powerful, so simple, and so brutally effective that it allowed them to eliminate every distraction and enter a state of total, unshakable focus. A mental condition where only one task, one breath, and one direction exist. A state where your mind stops wandering, your body aligns, and your entire being becomes a single point of intention. This ancient method is called Ichigyo-Zammai, and if you master it, even at a basic level, you can rebuild the focus modern life has stolen from you. In the next few minutes, you will learn how this Japanese technique can help you silence the noise, reclaim your attention, and unlock a level of productivity and clarity you may not have felt in years. If you're tired of feeling scattered, if you're tired of starting and never finishing, if you're tired of knowing you're capable of more, then stay with me, because this might be the moment your entire life pivots toward mastery. Chapter 1: The Modern Crisis of Attention. Look around you for just a moment. There has never been a time in human history when your attention was under attack from so many different directions at the same time. Your phone is vibrating, your apps are screaming for your eyes, your thoughts are racing, your environment is constantly shifting, and your mind is being stretched thin, pulled apart by constant stimulation that you never asked for and don't truly benefit from. Most people think they have poor discipline or weak willpower, but the truth is far more brutal. Your ability to focus has been systematically dismantled by an environment engineered to keep you distracted. Every time you check your phone just for a second, every time you switch tasks before finishing the last one, every time you open a new tab, scroll mindlessly, or interrupt yourself, you are training your brain to abandon depth and chase noise. And slowly, day after day, you lose the skill that determines everything: sustained, undivided attention. Without it, there is no mastery. Without it, there is no creativity. Without it, there is no excellence. Without it, there is no personal transformation. But attention is not a modern idea. It is not a productivity hack. It is a practice, one that ancient Japanese masters understood with frightening clarity. Before our world was filled with screens and dopamine and digital chaos, monks and warriors struggled with distraction too. Their distractions were different: fear, hunger, survival, worry, uncertainty, but the mind's restlessness was the same. They realized that the path to mastery begins not with talent, not with opportunity, and not even with desire, but with the ability to hold one thing in the mind without being pulled away. This led to the birth of a technique so deep, so transformative, and so simple that it became a foundation of Japanese Zen discipline: Ichigyo-Zammai, the state of one practice, total absorption. Chapter 2: What Ancient Japanese Masters Understood About Focus. In the monasteries of ancient Japan, monks spent decades cultivating their attention. They practiced rituals, repetitive movements, breath work, calligraphy, and silent meditation, not because these actions were physically impressive, but because they trained the mind in a way nothing else could. To them, the greatest enemy was not external distraction, it was inner fragmentation. The human mind is constantly dividing itself. One thought here, another there. A memory appears, a fear appears, a désir apparaît, a sound pulls you away, a feeling pulls you away. Your mind leaps from branch to branch like a restless monkey that refuses to sit still. Ichigyo-Zammai was the antidote. It was the training of single awareness, a direct, uncompromising immersion into one task until nothing else exists. Imagine a monk sweeping the temple floor. The action is simple. The broom moves in rhythm, the dust rises and falls. The breath aligns with each motion, but the mind stays on the broom, its texture, its sound, its weight, its purpose. No thought of breakfast, no thought of tomorrow, no distractions, just the action. Now imagine the same practice for the sword-wielding samurai. When a warrior entered the state of Ichigyo-Zammai, the battlefield disappeared. Only the blade existed. Only the stance existed. Only the opponent existed. This wasn't superstition or mysticism, it was a neurological shift into a state of pure, uninterrupted focus, similar to what modern scientists call deep work or flow state, but driven by spiritual discipline rather than productivity concerns. The monks and warriors understood something we have forgotten. The mind becomes what it repeatedly does. If you train distraction, you become distracted. If you train focus, you become unstoppable. Chapter 3, The Birth of Ichigyo-Zammai. The phrase Ichigyo-Zammai can be translated as one act, complete concentration, the state of being fully absorbed in a single practice. It emerged from both Zen Buddhism and martial training, but the principle remained constant across both worlds. You do one thing with the entire mind until you become unified with the act itself. This was not a technique. It was a way of life, a philosophy, a mental discipline that monks used to purify the mind and warriors used to sharpen the sword. The ancient masters believed that focus is not a gift, it is a muscle. And like any muscle, it grows when you stress it and weakens when you neglect it. Ichigyo-Zammai was the training ground for the mind. It removed mental noise, eliminated hesitation, and forged a level of internal stillness that modern people rarely experience. And while our world has changed drastically, the principles have not. If anything, the technique is more necessary today than it has ever been. Because today, you are surrounded by thousands of tiny attention traps, infinite scrolling, endless notifications, short-form addiction, multitasking culture, instant gratification, social pressure, digital overstimulation. Your mind has been pushed into a state of constant fragmentation. But Ichigyo-Zammai gives you a path to reclaim it. One breath, one action, one moment at a time. Chapter 4, How Samurai Trained Unbreakable Concentration. To understand how powerful Ichigyo-Zammai truly is, you must understand how they trained it. Samurai lived in a world where distraction was not an inconvenience, it was death. A wandering thought could get you killed. A moment of hesitation could cost you everything. To sharpen their minds, they engaged in exercises that demanded absolute presence. 1. Sword meditation. They would sit with their blade across their lap, breathing slowly, imagining the perfect stroke again and again until the mind, breath, and weapon became one. 2. Repetitive cuts. Thousands of identical cuts practiced every day, not to learn new techniques, but to strengthen the mind's endurance and staying with one movement. 3. Single point gazing. They stared at the tip of their blade or a small point on a wall, refusing to let the eyes or thoughts drift. 4. Ritualized movement. Every action from tying the armor to preparing tea was performed with deliberate awareness. 5. Breath synchronization. They matched breath to movement, binding the physical body to the internal flow of attention. These practices build a level of concentration modern people can barely imagine. When a samurai entered the state of Ichigyo-Zammai, their mind became as sharp as their sword. There was no fear, no noise, no hesitation, only clarity. And while we are no longer fighting with blades, we are fighting with distractions, impulses, addictions, and mental noise that are equally destructive to our goals. The same principles can make you powerful today. Chapter 5, The Neurological Explanation. Why Ichigyo-Zammai works. Modern neuroscience has uncovered truths the monks intuitively understood centuries ago. When you focus on one thing deeply and without interruption, your prefrontal cortex becomes fully activated. Your default mode network, mind-wandering system, shuts down. Your brain enters a state of hyper-efficiency, dopamine stabilizes. Your sense of time distorts. Your emotional centers calm. Your cognitive resources concentrate. But here's the key. Every distraction resets your focus cycle. Every time you break concentration, to check a message, to look at your phone, to switch tabs, you forcibly pull your brain out of deep focus and back into fragmentation. It takes an average of 23 minutes to return to the same level of concentration after a single distraction. The ancient Japanese practice of Ichigyo-Zammai removes this fragmentation. It trains your brain to enter deep focus faster, stay in deep focus longer, resist impulsive distractions, build attention endurance, lower stress, increase clarity, strengthen mental discipline. In a world where attention is the most valuable currency, Ichigyo-Zammai might be the ultimate competitive advantage. You've just learned one of the most powerful mental disciplines ever developed by the ancient Japanese masters. But knowledge alone changes nothing. The world is full of people who know what to do, yet wake up every day and repeat the same distracted patterns as yesterday. The difference between the person you are now and the person you want to become is not information, it is application. If you felt something awaken in you, if some part of you remembered that you are capable of more, if you are tired of drifting, tired of starting without finishing, tired of feeling scattered, tired of knowing deep inside that your potential is being wasted, then this is the moment. This is the moment you draw a line in your life. This is the moment you decide to reclaim your mind from the noise of the world. Start practicing Ichigyo-Zammai today, not tomorrow. Pick one task, one mission, one action, and give yourself fully to it for just 10 minutes, then 20, then an hour. Watch how your mind changes. Watch how your discipline sharpens. Watch how clarity replaces chaos. Your mind is your greatest weapon, and right now it is being dulled by distraction. But you can forge it again. You can rebuild your focus. You can become the kind of person whose presence is felt the moment they enter a room. A person who finishes what they start. A person who moves with purpose. A person who is impossible to break. If you want to continue this journey, if you want more teachings, more ancient techniques, more systems of discipline, focus, and personal mastery, then make sure you subscribe, follow, or turn on notifications. This channel is not just entertainment. It is a training ground for the mind, a place where we revive the wisdom of warriors, monks, and masters and apply it to modern life. Your transformation starts now. Your discipline starts now. Your new life starts now. But only if you take the next step. So commit. Focus. Begin your Ichigyo-Zammai practice today. And I'll meet you in the next video ready to sharpen your mind even further.